The views and opinions expressed on the SKO Radio Network are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The shows found on the SKO Radio Network can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition.
Alrighty. So another Sunday night. How are you two gentlemen doing?
Well, I'm doing good. Are we on the air?
Yes, we are.
All right, good.
Okay, good. Little technical difficulties.
Little testicle difficulties here.
Yeah, right?
So it's Sunday, December 2nd, 2018, and we have a new week coming up.
We do. First, moment of silence here real quick. Yesterday we had the passing of our 41st president, Mr. George H.W. Bush. Moment of silence for him. All right.
You know, what's interesting is all the people coming out and talking about him. I don't want to spend a lot of time on HW, but, you know, it is interesting to see when a president dies. Because when John McCain died, people who he still had a problem with were still kind of like, you know, screw John McCain. But HW, since he was a president, a lot of people are saying a lot of nice things. I'm going, you know, I've read him say some pretty harsh things, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, he's, he was FBI director.
Yes, he was.
CIA.
CIA.
You know, somebody's going to get mad if you pick the wrong executive agency.
He ran for the Senate twice and lost. He was vice president.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I think wasn't he a House of Representatives for Texas, I think? Or not Texas. I don't know. You know what?
No, he was. No, House of Representatives.
Yeah, I forget which state he represented. It was a little bit before my time.
He was not governor. That's his son, the 43rd president.
Yeah, was governor of Texas.
And he was a decorated Navy pilot in the South Pacific during World War II.
He was an ambassador as well.
Right. He was also ambassador.
Served one term. Lost his re-election bid to one William Jefferson Clinton.
Correct.
Slick Willie the Rapist. I love it.
Yeah.
He's had a total of, 77 years of public service.
Yeah, and he was... And didn't we just lose Barbara Bush here fairly recently, too?
8 months ago.
8 months ago.
Oh, was it that recent? I thought she died longer ago than that. Okay.
That generation, it happens. It's a common thing with the greatest generation, what they call the greatest generation, where...
she died in April 17th.
I don't know why. I thought she'd been gone longer.
Yeah.
I had thought, I was going to say me as well. I thought, I'm like, how long...
That's right, because she died in Arlie Ermy, died like right after. So, okay.
Yeah, her and then Gunny Sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like... And then when I heard the news, of Bush, and I'm like, he served after Jimmy Carter, and he went first.
That's what I was saying, too.
Jimmy Carter's he's gonna hit 100.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Carter stayed
Peanut farmer.
He stayed fairly active, too, because he does all that stuff with Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And he lives in a house that he grew up in.
Yep.
With his wife. He still farms peanuts. He still walks to the same grocery store every morning with the Secret Service. They walk along right with him. It's a 3-mile walk there and back. So he gets his exercise.
Oh, yeah.
He's a hometown, says hi to everybody. No one makes a big deal out of it.
He's one of those that I definitely think he's going to surpass 100 before he passes away.
Yeah, he's in pretty good health so far. I mean, I haven't heard anything.
Reagan went before him, and now Bush has went before him.
Ford
went, and it's just...
Because Ford was still alive up until, 10 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's amazing. It's just like, and Jimmy Carter was probably one of our worst presidents we had.
No.
Yeah, he's number two.
Yeah, Carter.
Number one, be Barry. Then you got Jimmy Carter. Then you
Nixon.
Damn it! You know what?
No one wants Tricky Dick.
Nixon wasn't that bad. Every woman wants Dick, but
yeah.
You know what? Lesbians say they don't want it. Here's what the thing of it is: lesbians don't like men. Every woman likes it. Well, anyways, but no. Shit, I always forget his name. What was the one who got pneumonia from his 24-hour inauguration speech? Was that William? No, yeah, Henry
Taft.
Harrison.
Well, I think William.
He
Henry
died in
Harrison.
30 days. William Henry Harrison, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that one you could claim he's one of the worst or one of the best because one, he wasn't around enough to do anything, but at the same time, reason he could be one of the best, he wasn't around long enough to do anything.
Yeah.
Carter's only 5 months younger than Bush.
Look at McKinley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still be around.
McKinley was shot within 30 days after being elected president. He didn't want to be president. He was chosen.
Yeah.
At the convention, Republican convention, which was held in Cleveland.
Yep.
He was sitting in the front row at that time, and they chose him to be president, and he didn't want it, so he went along with it, and within 30 days, he was shot and killed. That was
Wow.
President McKinley.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I was born during Ford's administration. That's kind of something because he was president and didn't run. Never.
Yeah.
He wasn't elected.
You're old enough to. Holy shit.
Yeah, 75.
He's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And you know something that's kind of creepy is if you think about it, like Lincoln and Kennedy, both assassinated.
Right?
Both were in 63, 1863, 1963.
100 years apart.
100 years apart. Both succeeded by a VP named Johnson, Andrew Johnson, LBJ.
Yep.
And obviously both, now here would be the ultimate thing, though. Just think about it for good old Abe. Abe Lincoln was shot in the Ford Theater, right?
Correct.
Now, if he would have went to the Chrysler Theater, he could have dodged a bullet.
I wasn't sure where he was going with that. I didn't realize it was going to be a bad pun. I liked it, Tony.
But you figure there's a lot of presidents that no one ever talks about, like Tyler and Polk and all them. I mean,
She's over there Googling him. I know it. Is that what you're doing? I'm just teasing.
That's good.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot of similarities with President Lincoln and President Kennedy.
Yeah. I mean, Kennedy freed the slave.
You got
Kennedy.
you got Lee Harvey
Did he really?
Oswald, who assassinated President
Tony with that
Kennedy,
public school education.
and you've got John Wilkes Booth,
yeah.
who assassinated Abe Lincoln.
Assassins always get three names. I don't know why it is. Even the weirdo who shot Lennon, they always called him by his three names.
Yeah, they always refer to him as I'm having a brain fart here for a second.
I can't remember his name. I just remember that he, for some reason, read The Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
John Lennon's son's name is Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Julian. Does he just go by that?
No, Julian too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Two sons,
He's got two
Julian
sons.
and Sean.
Julian
Yeah.
had a hit once and disappeared.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's got the talent his dad had. He's just not using it.
Yeah, well, his dad had the rest of the Beatles. When you got,
Well, you got Sean Bonham and
Yeah.
John Bonham.
Yep. And then there's it's just like they could theoretically reform Led Zeppelin if they felt like it with the kids.
Right?
yeah, they've used
Now, I
Jason
have a-
Bonham a lot.
I have a question for you, Sean. The one thing I've never figured out: what the hell is a Federalist?
A Federalist, George Washington.
No, he was not. He was unaffiliated.
No, George Washington was a Federalist.
No, he was not. He was
John Adams
John Adams. I know because related to him.
and Thomas Jefferson was a
But
Federalist.
what does that mean? That's what I'm confused about.
A Federalist is very similar to a Republican.
Jefferson was a Democrat.
So,
They say.
So a Federalist if you kind of compare it to, or I guess contrast with Confederacy. So you have, like in the United States, we have 50 states.
Right.
Now, if it was the Confederacy, which is what they tried to have in the South a few years back, didn't work out so well, is each state kind of gets assistance from that kind of, collective, but at the same time, they all get to do their own thing without, interference. With a Federalist set up with the way the nation is now is you have 50 states. However, the federal government is the umbrella over all of them, and the states kind of do, in some respects, answer kind of to that federal agency, the federal authority. So when we have a state problem, Ohio infringing upon our rights, we can appeal to the federal government and say they're infringing upon our rights. You see a lot of that with employment discrimination cases.
Okay.
So you have these states, and we get the rules here in Ohio that are good for us in Ohio, but they wouldn't apply in California because they live in communism there. So we don't want that shit here. So we have our rules. But if Ohio starts getting that kind of bad stuff coming in, there's stuff in Akron all the time. It's a horrible city to live in. But you can appeal that stuff when something bad happens to your federal agency. That's what kind of the Federalist setup is. It's like
Okay.
individuals underneath a big umbrella.
And keep in mind, when George Washington became president, we were just brand new as the United States of America, and there were only, technically, realistically, if you want to debunk history and correct itself.
He wasn't the first president.
No, there were 12 others prior to him.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they represented the colonies and the colonists.
Yep.
But there were only 9 states.
Yeah.
And there were only 560,000 people total in those 9 states. So you can imagine, he had a great position. Government was just beginning. We just elected our first Congress just a couple of years prior to that, of him becoming president.
We had our Constitution.
Right, we had our new Constitution. We're still battling and fighting Britain, technically. They didn't go away just because they lost or surrendered to the colonists or the 9 states. They were still around. Remember, they attacked us a couple of times, 3 times.
War of 1812.
Correct. And that's when they burnt down the White House and torched it, and they had to rebuild it. And the White House was just starting its new build when George Washington, because he put those people in place, and they were Freemasons that built the first White House.
Yep. And if you ever look at a map of D.C. with where everything's positioned between the houses of Congress, the White House, everything matches up to the symbol to the Freemason symbol.
Correct.
Between the compass and then the slide rule.
Right. Absolutely.
Everything is placed strategically like that.
And you can still see those markings on certain statues and monuments. There are hidden markings from the Freemasons that represent all that. So we're talking a new country. We're still dealing with Cornwallis and the British troops. We're still dealing with King George. We're still dealing with taxation. We're still dealing with the British troops walking around freely every day about the cities, trying to control certain aspects, strong-arming. And that's when we get the Boston Tea Party, and we get the Battle of Lexington, and everything else that goes along with that. So that's where we get the term patriot or Minutemen. Minutemen were the colonists that stood up and fought against Britain at the last minute. Excuse me.
I feel like we're on a conspiracy show. What time's that one on?
Monday nights, 5 o'clock.
5 to 6.
Under lock and key.
Yeah, there you go. I gotta start listening to that show. It's hard for me. It's a bad time for me to get on and listen.
Yeah, call and form your own cantations, I think is how Steph says it.
You can take your own cantations from that. Yep.
So she was the one today.
Win the pink.
She sat next to me.
So she's the one that believes in theories.
Yeah.
She's the one that says that all the missing children end up in McDonald's burgers.
Well, that's true, right?
No,
You mean all the children buy McDonald's burgers?
Yeah. No, that was only in the one McFuneral scene I saw on YouTube. It says, "What do you think that clown made me do with all your competitors there, Mayor McCheese? I ground them up and put them in the McNuggets." And then the McNuggets are like, "You mean we're made of ground up politicians?" Then Hamburger's like, "Yeah, and that and chicken genitals."
Ew.
What do you think they make chicken nuggets out of? How come you think that one fast food place can sell them 10 for $1? You think they're using the quality parts of the bird? Please.
And the orphanages.
Yeah.
And what else is her thoughts on theories?
No one should celebrate Christmas.
Absolutely.
That
I don't.
birth certificates are.
No, you celebrate Hanukkah.
It officially started at sundown.
And you're
I
still
thought-
up?
Still here.
And you're still up.
Yes,
So
I
it's
am.
8 days of,
Crazy nights.
what is it? You make a dreidel or a gradle?
A menorah.
A dreidel.
A dreidel.
The children spin and play dreidel. It's just a game.
Right.
And then, of course,
They light the menorah.
you light the menorah. And see, the whole thing with
Did you
Hanukkah-
light yours tonight?
Well, I'll turn on my. I cheat, and I have an electric menorah, so I just got to flip the switch, and it lights the bulb up. the one center bulb, stays lit for the entire 8 nights, and then of course during the day, you don't keep it lit, but then at night, you do one candle. Then second night is 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8th night of Hanukkah.
Isn't there a money deal out of there too? In the 8 days, you give money to the children, or
well, you're supposed to get a small gift every night of Hanukkah. Then you're supposed to get a big gift on the last night of Hanukkah.
So what are we getting?
What am I getting? Is
You're getting a show.
You know what my thought is? You buy an AR-15 and tear it apart into eight basically sets of pieces, and you give it to the kid every night. Here's more parts to your gun, and watch them put it together like a building, something
over the 8 days.
Then, there you go. The 8th day they get the last of it, and they,
What do you think of that?
Hey, that works for me.
That works for me.
They are over 7, and you got to give them the bump stock for day 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear? We're waiting for it. We're waiting for it.
And day 7 would be the what do you call it? The Franklin binary trigger system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how this actually works out.
The only good thing about that, don't give them the clip.
It's no good with that.
We'll give them 3 10-round clips.
No,
I see a
10 round shit.
I seen a thing today for a belt fed AR-15.
Oh, I know, right? Wouldn't that be the thing?
That'd be great. Somebody converted their AR-15.
Well, the problem is
fed.
if it's semi-automatic, who cares?
Yeah.
You need it. It's got to be full auto. It's got to be full auto.
Well, that gets around. That gets around to the say the outlawed high capacity magazines.
Right.
That's
there you go.
Around a high capacity magazine.
Yeah, removable. It's not a removable box magazine at that point, is it?
Nope.
Say that really fast.
That doesn't even meet the definition of clip.
Say that really fast 10 times.
Yeah, you heard me get tongue tied trying to get that one out.
So, let's talk about I'm itching to say it again. The lovely name of our senator, soon to be inaugurated.
Yeah.
In New York,
Ocasio-Cortez,
the one that can't afford to go to Washington, D.C.
Obsessed with that little Latina girl.
Oh, Venezuelan.
Oh, you should have heard him trying to get dinner.
Nice.
But here she goes. She's continuing to make statements and remarks about government, and she's absolutely clueless.
Yeah, it's bad enough she thinks the 3 branches of government are the Congress, are the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the White House. That's her idea of three branches of government.
Isn't that right?
No.
I always thought it was legislative, judicial, and executive.
Well, the fun part is that what I didn't learn about government when I was in high school is the fact that every branch of government is allowed to write laws. So apparently that's a thing. I thought it was the legislative's job to write the law, the executive.
But you know why it's so?
But apparently all 3 are actually allowed to write.
You do realize why there's the legislative branch, right? It's at their leisure.
Yeah, no shit. Pretty much. What is it? Isn't a group of baboons called a Congress?
Yeah, it is. Isn't the opposite of progress Congress?
Pro and con is con.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why the funny thing is with
you know why our show works.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 smartasses in one room. We're never going to get anywhere.
Correct.
You said I was a smart ass.
Oh, you are. You lead us in all phases of the walking life.
Somebody turn her headphones on so she can hear me. Everybody's got to be tortured with my voice, not just these guys.
Oh, I hear him.
She tries not to.
She's been making
Bazinga.
She's been making socialists say that upper middle class does not exist.
Bullshit.
What is she then, man? Fuck, there's a photograph of her wearing like $3,000 worth of clothes.
She must be the bottom of the pit.
My closet has less than $3,000 worth of clothes.
But in all seriousness, let's literally talk about her in a serious level. She graduated from Boston College. She has a degree. Boston College is just not some fly-by-night, class 3 college. It's a decent college. It's not an Akron U.
Did you see Tony's girlfriend Caitlin went to Akron U recently, and they tried to push her out. Man, there was a bunch of kids go, "We don't want you here. We don't want you. You can make the like really." Beating up on this little girl. I mean, she's got a big mouth, so don't get me wrong. It's not like she doesn't ask
she's
for it.
She's writing her own check.
Man, they are really.
But she can't cash them.
No, she puts a lot of people in her place.
Yeah.
I mean, here's one name we haven't heard from in a while. Is the name David Hogg ring a bell?
Oh, yeah. him and Maxine. No, Christine Ford.
Yeah,
the both of them kind of disappeared when the Democrats stopped having use for them.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Well,
like
stop hearing
Sean's girlfriend here, Octavio Valores. What the hell is it, Miss New York?
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, as soon as they realize just what a worthless piece of trash she is in Congress, they'll start ignoring her too.
Oh, they're going to feed on her once she gets
they're going to eat her.
Everybody likes her because she's not completely ununattractive like most of the Democrats in Congress, but once they really realize that she doesn't know what she's doing and she's going to be a mess, they'll leave her. They'll feed her the wolves.
Yeah, I mean,
they will. But we got to talk about the other one.
I want to take her
out of New York.
Okay,
that is had a great campaign idea, got elected, and she reversed her whole ideology. And she is of Muslim nature and practices Islam.
Yeah.
And she is a senator. Brand new, first elected, first time.
Somebody ran for political office on one platform and then got in there and did something different? No way.
No.
That's never happened in America.
Everything that
never happened.
Wait a minute, isn't that every president we've ever had?
That's every politician probably. Well, 98% of politicians have ever run. The funny thing is, even Trump's got. I mean, most of he's right on money because he's not a real politician, but he's gotten a few things recently, like this. Like we were talking about that bump stock ban. We're waiting for that to come down the pike. Because he's in New York. He doesn't understand guns. I want to know where Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are with this, because they're buddies with guys like the owners of Silencer Co.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, one of Donald Trump Jr.'s buddies is a guy who owns a silencer building company. They're probably the most lucrative silencer making company there is. Mm-hmm. And they're still letting their dad do this stuff. I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Got a tug on his ear. Stop that,
Yeah,
and we're like the Hearing Protection Act. Why did that not pass? They were going to take some silencers off.
You're going to see movement after January 1st on the Hearing Protection Act, House Bill number 184, and House Bill 387.
I think the Hearing Protection Act one's old enough. It's going to die when Congress closes up session this year.
You're going to start hearing bill. It'll die. Whatever happens with it, you're still going to hear about it. Are there going to be justifications, modifications, or be rewritten or reintroduced in a different capacity? That's a possibility. We don't know. It's dead in the water right now. We're not hearing anything. We hope something comes of it.
Now, here's the thing I'm wondering as well is, now you do know what the two, between the senator and the one congressperson from Minnesota, the Congress has also changed their stance on headgear being worn in both houses of Congress. Oh, because the two Muslim representatives that both got elected.
Let me expand your point so the listeners really kind of hear what you're trying to say. So the liberals on the left, they're demanding a separation of church and state. They pretend that's what's in the Constitution. All right, fine. So we're taking religion out of our government and keeping it that way because we don't want it. What government does being influenced by their religious beliefs, because there are how many religions. But what are they doing? They're changing a rule, specifically for a religious belief. Purpose. That's exactly what it is. If it was some other kind of religion, because you've never heard them say that before.
No.
I mean, I don't know that we ever had a Sikh elected to Congress, but okay. No. So, they haven't really brought this up yet, but, you see, nuns in their habits and stuff like that. I mean, we're now coming on to this Muslim thing. They don't understand that is the most oppressive, most anti-feminine religion on the planet. Right now, I'm not even talking about history because they're going to say
barbaric.
It is.
It is. It's an ideology that comes from Muhammad.
They're going to talk about what Christians used to do. I'm sorry, but now we're talking about today.
Welcome to the SKO Radio Network. You can find us online at skoradio.com. We're also on the TuneIn app where you can listen with your mobile devices on the Google Play and Apple Store. Find us on social media at facebook.com/SKO Radio Network. You're tuned to the SKO Radio Network and online at skoradio.com.
Their whole argument is bullshit. We got people trying to just pour into the country, and these aren't asylum seekers because they're poor and broke and homeless. And I mean, look at what's going on. They didn't come for 1,000 miles away because they were destitute. So there was a true invasion. So what was going on by the border agents down there is appropriate now. But everyone wants to talk about, well, Christians used to do that. I'm talking about right now today. We can't stop what happened in the past because it's over.
Exactly. If we continue to relive the past, we're never going to change the future.
Exactly. I mean, you have to remember that it happened.
We have to go back to the past and start it back over, and literally, we have to develop another branch of government to make sure it sticks. 100 years after the fact. Because here we go. We have, starting January 1st, basically the downfall of this country. This, what I'm going to call great country. It's going to be beginning phases of the downfall and the collapse of our economy in the United States of America. Because Trump's not going to be able to do anything. He has to write more executive orders because he can't work with the House and Congress. And we have a $27.6 trillion deficit, not including the debt ceiling, which it makes it $58.5 trillion. We don't have the money paying back. We've got a fluctuation and ups and downs with the stock market. We can't fill 1.2 million jobs estimated between the 7 sectors or 7 branches that operate our economy. We can't find enough people. We are dealing with a millennial, socialistic, anti-whatever government, and we're just heading towards collapse. Can't fix it.
We're a supernova getting ready to explode.
Yeah, I mean, when they elected all those to where the Democrats took over the House, you saw the stock market took a hell of a hit.
Yeah.
But it'll come back up. Honestly, one of the best things that can happen to government is that it gridlock and shut and stop working, because government always screws everything up. That's just the way it is.
I'm totally with you.
Yeah, I mean, it truly is. So I think that's a good thing. Trump running executive orders. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of executive orders because, again, it's like it's legislating from the White House, and it's not really how it's supposed to happen. Because he wants to. I mean, hell, he'd probably written an executive order on the bump stocks if he could, but he can't. So he's trying to make them do it. But I don't know. You go ahead.
But like I understand what you're saying too, and at the same time, it's like the 3 branches are supposed to be there to balance each other out and work together, but they can't. It's
right.
And the farther we're getting in, and as years go by, it seems like it's worse than the year before. It's like, it's put your big boy pants on, go into work, do what you need to do, and go home.
You said it correctly, your big boy pants.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We have 2 generations that don't have those big boy pants.
Right.
And then we've got our generation, the ones that are in their 40s that don't want to stand up and protect it and fight it and move it forward, and saying enough is enough, stop with the BS, and let's move this forward.
Well, it's because they're too scared.
Because they're a bunch of chicken shits and they're scared.
Yep, they're scared to fight for what really needs to happen.
And I'm going to tell you, and I've said this a couple of times on my show, that our show, my show, everybody's show, Firearms, Freedom, and Facts, that watch what happens after. Just start note-taking. Just start taking notes. Don't, we don't have to discuss it every single show, but just start watching things after January 1st. Here's my prediction, because I understand economics and government. And because of socialism and the left, and that includes the right adding to it, it'll be the next president, which will not be Trump. Okay, I want him to be Trump. Yeah. Everybody wants him to be Trump. It's on the right, obviously. But the next socialistic, liberal, democratic president, in the second year, in the first quarter, you're going to see it. It's gone. Hell's going to break loose. It's going to be gone. Economy's going to collapse. There are also the economics and economists that are the professionals, the experts, that are kind of watchdogs to the economy. They're already telling you, look, if you don't stop doing this, you don't start doing this, and you need to look at this, and because of this, here's where it's going to end up. They're already starting.
Yeah.
They've been talking it now for about 3 weeks, and I believe them because they're professionals. They study numbers, and it's common sense. If you have a $58.5 trillion deficit, and you don't have gold backing the dollar, and we've got 900 billion barrels of oil reserves, and we're operating and selling and trading paper on the market, and we're not bringing in enough taxes, and we have socialism in the left, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
We're going to end up like Venezuela.
It's going to be the second Great Depression.
We're going to see $1,500 for a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
And we're going to see people getting killed off, and we're going to see martial law take effect, and the economy's going to go flat, done. There's no more manufacturing. There's no more refinery. There's no more food, looting, stealing, and killing. And that's it. We're done.
We're going to prove the Simpsons right. They talk about the time we have Donald Trump president crashed the economy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you don't want to see that happen, but it's just...
The way I look at it, we're not...
And it's going to become a snowball effect, and you can't stop it.
The way I look at it, we're not horses where people take your blinders off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
You know, I'm going to follow the path of I've always fought in my plan to put together. You know, I'm buying the land off the grid. I'm going to have the weapons. I'm going to have the food source, the water source. I'm going to put all that together like I've been talking about for years, and I'm slowly taking the steps. With my family or without it, because they're going to get caught in the middle of it, and they're going to get caught behind. So the true facts are that the generation we're raising now in schools, in the public schools, in the Common Core, and the liberalism and all the bullshit from Akron to across the country, including California and the 5 other states, the kids don't have a future, period. Let that phone ring off the hook. Call the office here and complain. But it's the truth. There is really no future.
Mm-mm. Yeah, in fact, we got a phone number you guys want to call in, 234-200-5110. Love to hear somebody else's opinion on the subject. Yeah, I mean, and you hit a good point. You know, the funny thing is people, like the newest generation, like below us, they're more than willing to give up their rights. I mean, they've got constantly, they're voting socialist. They're pushing along for this. In fact, Florida's got a new measure that's going to go on the ballot for the people's signature to take the ban semi-automatic rifles. So Florida people are going to actually vote to take away their own rights.
You're in your 40s. Mm-hmm. I'm in my 40s. You're in your 40s, Tony.
Yep.
Why don't we give them the socialistic country? Give it to them. Let them get a taste of Venezuela.
Yeah.
They would know what to do or how to survive, and they'd be dead within a day or two, period.
Well, if socialism is such a great system and capitalism is evil, why is the caravan heading from Venezuela to, well, it's not coming from Venezuela, but why is it coming from that direction to the United States instead of going, say, to Venezuela? Why is it not going to one of those socialist, very liberal countries out there? Why aren't those people building rafts out of trash to swim not swim, but to float to Cuba instead of away from it like they were doing, but was the 80s, I think, was when the big migration was?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because socialism and communism are just, they destroy everything. They destroy everything they touch.
Hey, now, on that note, humor me. I have like a 2.5 minute clip I want to play. I don't know if you've ever heard it before. Do you remember when Jeff Daniels was speaking?
Yes, my favorite clip. I post it all the time.
Okay, I'm going to play this clip. We all can listen to it. I want to play this because on the subject we're talking about right now.
This is me. Jeff Daniels in this clip is me. This is what I have to speak.
Yes, it is. So
go ahead and play it.
Okay.
And then we got to take a break after that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like
this. Can
this.
you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis? Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Yeah, freedom.
Well, why is America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor? That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yet you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. Enough?
And with that, we will be right back.
Hi, this is Bob Fritz, host of the Oldies But Goodies show here on SKO Radio. Join me every Sunday morning from 11 to 2 Eastern Standard Time for the best of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. You can get your requests in by going to Facebook page Yesterday and Today's Classic Music Chat, Tribute, and Games.
Looking for the hottest take on sports on the internet? Look no further than Sports Trek with Tony the Comedy Killer, Wednesdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on the SKO Radio Network.
Got the music blues? Well, tune into the Total Request Live with me, Debbie McCune, Mondays from 7 to 10 p.m. Taking your requests live, call or text at 234-200-5110, only on the SKO Radio Network. Guaranteed to take your blues away.
Hi folks, Handy Randy. Some Kind of Radio, every Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, we take your themes. First off, we need you to go to Yesterday and Today's Classics, Music, Chat, Trivia, and Games, and join that Facebook site. Once you do that, then watch for the themes and the requests. Tuesday night, 6 until 10, classic rock and roll. Promise will knock your socks off.
Hey, this is Brad of the Odd Ass Broadcast, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. We are the degenerates of the SKO Radio Network. Tune in to see what shenanigans we are up to this week.
In the beginning, Pat created ham radio heaven. But somehow it just wasn't enough. Listeners wanted more. So they went back to the drawing board, hoping to create that perfect show.
Something's going to happen. What? What's going to happen? Something wonderful.
Join Dale and I for Radioactive as we discuss technology and life in the world around us. That's Radioactive, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays here on SKO.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Ost.
Hi, I'm Chris Ost.
And we're the hosts of Throwback Thursdays here on SKO Network. Catch us every Thursday for our show Throwback Thursdays from 6 to 9
p.m. on SKO Radio Network.
Hi, this is Stephanie Raquel Kokora, and I run Under Lock and Key from 5 to 6 on Mondays. Come and see me. It's everything they don't want you to know, all in one place. I'm a truth seeker, have been for many, many years, and I do the research. All you gotta do is listen and make your own cantations out of that. And this is SKOradio.com.
Luke, you will listen to Some Kind of Radio show every Friday night from 8 p.m. to midnight on the SKO Radio Network.
Oh, hi, Darth.
You know, Dylan, there's nothing better than sitting at the bar,
having a cold beer, sitting there with a good friend, watching the big screen, watching the big game on the TV.
No, you're absolutely right. Talking about sports with your buddy, that's exactly what Rick and Brad do, too, on Sunday nights.
That's
at
right.
The Windsor Pub.
That's right. Sunday nights at the Windsor Pub, the Sports Brewing Company, starting at 9:30 p.m. live here on the SKO Radio Network.
They go till whenever. They talk about whatever. They even have a top 5. Make sure you tune in and crack your cold one.
And we're back here on Firearms, Freedom, and Facts. Welcome back. 6:50 Eastern Time.
On the SKO Radio Network.
Yes, indeed. Lines are open. 234-200-5110. Give us a call.
And we have a lot of listeners around the world, including Iceland and Finland and over there in Europe, our 50 states, Canada. Call in, please. We'd like to hear from you. Every week we do this show. We keep talking about, some things over and over and over because we're trying to make a statement and we're trying to make a point. We're here to put out the facts, not make up any BS that's read on the internet or Facebook or any social media outlet.
So, and we want to hear from the people that are listening to us. So, this is a two-way street here, folks. Give us a call. We want to hear from you as much as you want to hear from us when you're tuning in. So, and also spread the word. Tell your friends.
And keep in mind that the things that we state in our show are truthful, and we don't make it up. And yes, some of it has to do with our own personal opinion, but they're facts. Facts are driven by doing research, reading, and work. Consistency. Letting the truth know. Now, you can get people to believe you or not. You can state your opinion. We have freedom of speech. You can voice your opinion anytime you like. All opinions are valued. And if it becomes controversy, that's what conversation is. It becomes controversy. And when it becomes controversy in theory, you explain it. You keep talking about it, and you work out terms and conditions, and you settle upon a conclusion. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I'll give you a perfect example. I've been on several campus carry walks, and the last one most recently is we probably had our biggest presence of protesters. So much so they brought in 300 to 400 state highway patrolmen to work security.
For a state-run university.
For a state-run university. So, and I had to explain some of these people that were holding up signs that said Nazis go home, that way back when the Nazis wanted to disarm you, not provide you more...
The Nazis?
The Nazis.
Nazis.
Oh, I thought he said nutsies. I'm like, what? We all know you're nuts.
Yeah. The Nazis, which is short for the National Zionist Party.
Yeah, there you go.
But the sign said, Nazis, go home. We don't want you here. And I'm like, the Nazis are trying to disarm you, not provide you additional ability to arm yourself, which is what we're doing.
And I'm going to call it out again. That's what we have. The millennials, they got their information and their ideology twisted backwards because of the lack of education, because we don't have backbone anymore, and we have too many leftists and liberals feeding them with propaganda bullshit every day, which is also called Common Core, which also doesn't work. And they're feed this, and then it's fed off by their parents and their family, and it's typical liberalism. And at one time, we didn't have that in this country. It did not exist. You didn't see it, you didn't hear of it, and it was not talked about. And again, till I'm death in my bed, buried 6 feet under, I will attack liberalism, period, because it's destroyed the foundation, the fabric, the Constitution, and the structure of this country. And it's getting worse every day, and we will collapse and fall. We will fall to grace. We will burn, and we will die off.
Sure what happened in Pennsylvania? So everything in Pennsylvania's got a weird name to be pronounced. Tamaqua something, basically the teachers union. Okay, so this is how liberals are, right? Their whole we know what's best for you. We'll tell you what you can and can't do, which rights are good for you. So the state of Pennsylvania, apparently teachers are allowed to carry guns in schools. There's probably a lot more to it than just saying they're allowed to carry. The union actually is trying to prevent the teachers from being able to carry. The teachers union, which is supposed to be on the side of the teachers, theoretically, really all it is a money-making scheme for them, And
Like most unions.
Oh, the unions are. Everybody's whining about what happened to GM. You know what happened to the auto industry? Unions. Unions is what destroyed it. That greed that they wanted so much money out of it. I mean, the guys on the line, made good money. Yeah, they made more money than they really deserved. The unions were but the unions were bleeding them dry. You know, they had to make that kind of money to pay the damn unions. And that's why the auto manufacturers are moving plants to Mexico and China and et cetera, Canada, to get out from underneath the...
But see, no one's talking about this. You can reapply for your job when they build those new plants and bring out those electric hybrid cars. You'll be able to get your job back. You just reapply for it, move, transfer, or take a buyout. It's your choice.
Well, but the problem is they're all trying to blame Trump.
They will build 1 or 2 plants in Mexico because of cost.
Oh, the plants are already built. They've been there for years.
But you got to remember,
They're moving
no matter what it is, there's always someone that's got to be the scapegoat. And why not blame it on the president?
It's kind of funny, too, how they wait until after the election to bring out the GM stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't hear loudmouth Sherrod Brown and big-nose geek-ass... what's his name?
Tim
Ryan.
Tim Ryan and Sherrod Brown have both come out blaming Trump for the whole problem, and I'm like, this is your fault. You're the local, leadership. So theoretically, the senator and whatnot. This is you. This isn't something the federal government had anything to do with. GM can't afford to run because GM's run by idiots. I mean, honestly, trained monkeys could run that company better than whoever's in charge of it now.
Isn't it her last name Brown? She's not a very good CEO.
I don't know. It's some woman, and she's probably got the job because she's a chick, and they thought it would be trendy to put a woman in charge. I have no idea what her qualifications are.
And that's always been the problem with putting women in charge.
Well, if you do anything based on something simply like, I know, right? One of the program managers or station managers, say whatever the hell you are.
General manager.
Oh, she's the general manager.
I don't know. She's in charge of something. She's sitting in on this.
GM. What's that tell you?
There you go.
GM.
See, anything with the initials of GM.
GM, there we go.
Girl manager.
See?
Girl manager.
See? I had a buddy in law school. He's like, look, the problem with General Motors is it's a financing company that happens to build cars.
Oh, ha ha.
He's right.
And they're not. When was the last time GM was profitable? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they're becoming like the railways, the rail industry. It's always losing.
And business. GM puts out a good product. I mean, they do. Their trucks.
How much for you?
Their GMC 1500s. That's a good truck. But why aren't they profitable? Because of how they mismanage money, their operating expenses, their overhead, the type of steel they use, the lack of coatings, the mass production without doing quality control. They don't know where to cut costs in the right areas. And no one's perfect, and I'm going to say being the first. I'm not perfect by any means, but I've been in management. I've been in executive management, and it's you got to sit down with the pen and paper. You've got to crunch numbers. You've got to justify. You've got to cut spending. You've got to make those difficult decisions. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you take a $25.6 million salary. Look at the oil companies.
Yeah.
Really?
They're saying,
I'm in total for capitalism, but come on, you got to be reasonable about it. Are you worth $25.6 million as a CEO, and you are shutting down 5 plants, eliminating 35,000 jobs, and you're not profitable for the last 20 years? Come on.
Yeah, if you're still running the company in the ground, I mean, how are you demanding these huge salaries? I think what the interesting thing was I would see is if these large companies like GM's a good example, bring in a new CEO and pay him like what $200,000 a year. Just give them an executive salary, but no $1 million cash payout.
Some of these salaries are absurd. I mean, we're talking all the Fortune 500 companies. Mention what's the thing you do? Uber.
Yeah,
those.
What a joke!
But if the companies are making money, I go for it. Why the hell not?
Right? If they're profitable,
if they're like Apple, I'm sorry, but Apple Computers, I don't care what their CEO gets paid. I honestly have that company is so profitable. I don't even care. They don't even have to announce that one. Pay that guy whatever they want. That's one of the most profitable companies on the planet.
They just hit the $1 trillion mark.
But But even if your company is worth $1 trillion or whatever it is, you still have to think like one of the little guys. Because, say he owns a company that's a multi-trillion-dollar company, okay? And even though, yes, he's profiting, the company's profiting, but you have to think about the people that are getting you to that place. because without them, that money's not coming in.
Well, the workers could unionize. There we go.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
you're right though.
You know how it's like, I'll take a $75,000 a year salary while I'm paying this guy. Oh well, he can live off $20,000 for the year. You know what I mean?
See, that's what they call the Walmart philosophy. Is that where you were going with it?
No, I was not. I was just saying, like, there are companies, like you were saying, like with General Motors, they're taking all that big cut off the backs of the people that are actually doing the work, and they're running the company into the ground, which then in turn loses the job for those people.
Right. It's not going to change.
It's got to be a give and take.
Right. I mean, they talked about this about 6 months ago with Walmart, where Walmart's CEO is making 175 times the top paid managers at Walmart. And look at Walmart.
Yep.
They can't find employees anymore because why? They burn bridges, because it's retail and they want to maximize the profits and they want to control the buyers and the suppliers and the chain and distribution. You know, great, they're the largest retailer in the world, but they're not doing things right. GM's not doing things right. The insurance industry's not doing things right. It's capitalism is turned into greed and power. Okay, so what does it really all mean in the end? Your money's worthless in the end. When it all collapses and goes away, it's because you treat the common man like crap and it's fallen because you don't listen to them, because you think they're too stupid. That's why liberals believe in dumb people. Dumb people vote for liberals because there is no meaning behind it. And that's why they keep going after people, the poor, the working class, the white collar, the blue collar, and dumb democratic politics. They keep voting for these people in, and it hasn't solved the problem. You think by bringing, just take our local economy. Is it doing well? Absolutely not. It's not doing well. Locally in Summit County, Akron, Ohio, absolutely not. It's not. And we keep electing the same officials over and over and over because the people are too stupid to look elsewhere or look outside the box and do their research. So they're going to keep voting and voting and voting, and it's going to get worse. Your homeowners are suffering. They're paying taxes out the ass. The water bill's going up. The streets are not repaired. Jason's talked about it all the time where he lives. Kenmore, come on. That's kind of the southwest side of the city of Akron. Yeah. It's become, literally, Jason can vouch because he grew up in, Springfield Township. I live there. Look what Kenmore alone's become in Akron over the last 32 years alone. It was not like that when we were growing up. Yeah. No. And that shit did not exist.
I grew up in Springfield Township.
But Springfield Township still holds their own.
Well, Correct. It used to be good before then.
And you know why Springfield Township does what they do and they're still standing as upper middle class and semi-wealthy and hardworking people that own the properties out there? Number one, it's a township. Number two, they don't have a mayor.
Yeah. No.
Second, they have only 4 trustees, and that's why they don't have local government to control it. It's a township, and they keep it tight. And it's working, and it's been working. Go to any township, it works. When you have growth and it becomes a city, look at Greene. Greene's a perfect example. Remember when Greene was all farm?
Yeah, Greene used to be great, but they've had so many Democrats move in down there. They're turning it's a shithole now. It's really it's not that.
It's a glorified shithole.
It is. It's just straight up overpriced. The property taxes have gotten so high because people are building these ungodly sized houses. They're all rich down there, and they're just driving everything up, and it's just a mess. And they're trying to do more. They're restricting everything. That used to be a great place to live. Now it's almost as restrictive as living in a real. It is technically a city, but it's almost as restrictive as living in a city like Akron or Cleveland or something. The way it's gotten,
right?
When you look at other places.
And again, what we talk about, and Jason keeps bringing up, every week relentlessly he does. Government can be good when it's done right. Government has destroyed things and taken over. And we keep believing into government. We keep electing the same officials. It's kind of funny. I remember going to the voting booth there on November, 5th? 6th. And I go to this small little church off Myersville Road, and I'm looking at the ballot. Absolutely not. Why do I want to vote these same people back in? I didn't vote. I wrote my name in it.
I didn't vote this year because there wasn't anyone worth a damn.
Right.
I went one time. it's a little different now where I vote. It's basically you fill it out and you stick it in the machine and it does all the work. But it used to be a little bit different. When I turned it in, somebody's like, well, you didn't vote for candidate in this one. I'm like, yeah, there's only one person and I'll never vote for her. I don't care that there are no opposition. I will never check that box. Because some of them are just
and you don't
awful.
have to check that box.
No, you don't, and you shouldn't if you don't want to. That's why, part of the Democrats trying to steal elections throughout the country, some of them are because people do that. They go and they vote for one candidate, but they won't vote for another one. And like, well, they voted for this guy, but there's no vote here, so they should automatically vote. That one should count for my guy. No, they left that one blank. Just deal with the fact that people leave it blank because we hate most politicians. Politicians in America are awful.
And look at the ads that they put out and attack each other constantly.
It's
like, really?
wrestling. Well, the thing of it is, though, the shit works. People are stupid. That's why, Americans are just dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff. They see it on TV. Oh, this politician is evil, blah, blah, blah. They believe that.
Well, and you figure a lot of people believe in that lesser of the two evils. But you know what? Right there, that's the problem with the country.
The fact that they accept that we need to have evil. So we have to have somebody controlling us is what the problem is.
So let's reverse the role and say Hillary was president. She became president.
Oh, hell no. I'd rather shoot myself.
We'd already be in the middle of a second Revolutionary War. Well, I guess technically a third Revolutionary War because the Civil War was the second
No, here's
revolution.
what would happen. If we had Hillary as president, the Republicans would do what the left is doing. Okay?
Yeah.
And the right would be wrong still. And it would obviously produce more money in the economy. Technically, it would. Because let's take the gun industry alone, gun sales would be off the roof right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to find anything in the store. Nothing on the shelf.
Supply and demand would be off the hook.
Well, the funniest thing is, so when we had 8 years of Barry, there were no additional gun restriction laws. He went by Barry before he ran for elected office. Then he decided he had to be Barack because it was more.
When he started saying that, I'm like, who the fuck is
That's his real name.
I've got nicknames for most of our presidents. I still call George W. Bush W.
It's actually Barry Hussein Santor.
The way I look at it, people revere some politicians, and that's a problem. They are just men and women. That's all they are. Some of them aren't even really that. But you look at them like the people worshipped Barry. I mean, they really did. The left.
They still do.
They still do. Although they don't go see him anymore. He tries to hold venues and stuff like that, and there's like 300 people show up.
Michelle Obama's book is #1.
See, that right there proves my point. If you want his money, you're soon parted.
You know what it's called?
People are buying that pile of shit.
The sheep is eating the snow.
Exactly.
No, her book is actually called Becoming Michelle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's because she went through a transition, right?
I was thinking that. I'm like, wow.
Right.
But no, honestly,
it's kind of ironic how her book's named Becoming Michelle. Which there is rumored that she played for Oregon State as a fullback football player.
As a man?
And they have pictures. And
well, she's more masculine than Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know,
just look at her
some
apple.
controversial photos out there of Mrs. Santor.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know why we aren't talking about guns all night, but the funny thing is, like the leftists kept saying that, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, such a beautiful first lady. I'm like, who are you looking at? I mean,
what are you looking at?
Seriously, I mean, honestly, most of the first ladies in the United States have not been attractive women.
The only one I would.
Barbara Bush.
That's exactly who I was.
Her day? Oh, yeah.
Was she good looking way back when? I've only known her as a very, very old woman.
This is before she was first lady.
Now, W's wife was kind of pretty.
Oh, you're talking about Barbara Bush.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about Linda Bush.
No.
Still not
Laura
right.
Bush.
Laura. That sounds right. That's
honestly, I think and this may not just be because I'm partial to him as a president. I think the most stunning first lady we had was Jackie O.
She was all right. She
was stunning.
She didn't really do anything for me.
Marilyn was better.
Stunning?
Yeah. Marilyn was.
Yeah, Marilyn was.
You're throwing person. He said it, not me.
No, I heard it come from your mouth. I didn't hear nothing come from him.
Yeah.
See? That's why you're here. We blame it all on you.
Yeah.
But no, honestly,
uniform
and
too.
it's not just.
Well, Monica was cuter than Hillary.
Yeah.
She had a tooth that dragged.
Right?
No, honestly, I really think Jackie O was very stunning, the way she handled herself and everything. But I don't know if that's just because I think Kennedy is my, all-time hero, you know what I mean? And that's just...
It's because the way John F. Kennedy, even at his worst times, in his back pain and his surgery and his disconnected disc, it's his looks, it's the way he carried himself, it's the way he spoke.
He's very charismatic.
Yes.
Right, and he did it the right way. That was what a true Democrat should be, is what the Kennedys were.
Yeah. Well, America would be such a better place if
You know,
Democrats today were more like Jack Kennedy.
I honestly believe that had he not been assassinated, I totally think our country would have been on a totally different path than what it is now.
No question. You're
Then there
absolutely
is no conspiracy theory, okay?
No.
He was shot and killed
there are a lot of
by
conspiracy theories.
Lee Harvey Oswald from a window on the second floor of the library in Dallas, Texas, and he was not hired by the Italians, mob,
It was
or
CIA,
Russian, or
LBJ,
CIA.
and H.W. Bush. I'm just saying those were involved. H.W. was supposedly connected with CIA by then.
No,
and then LBJ had an axe to grind. JFK
It was
says,
not,
I'm going
because
to disband the
here's the-
CIA, send him to the
here's the
7
thing.
wins.
When's she on? Tomorrow?
She's on, yes, tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll call in and talk to
you
her.
and I,
I'll
you
call
and
in and talk to her
I, we're
tomorrow.
going to sign a proclamation that Jason's ass is off our show and he go join the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Just because I'm sitting here wearing a tinfoil hat, you think I'm conspiracy?
No,
theory?
the only thing that's conspiracy about that whole thing was that at the last moment his route was changed.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that I find funny about
you know what?
that.
I've seen. Okay, look. Anybody, if you set out to prove or disprove something, you can probably do it. People do it all the time. A good example is paintings show up that were in somebody's attic for 2 generations, and they're convinced it belonged to Leonardo da Vinci, and they go through the testing to prove that it was a Leo. And you can kind of come up with it. Okay, it was from the right time period, the right type of paints, the brushstrokes are similar. You can prove
can
whatever
do that with
Yes,
anything.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying, and that's the point. So I've seen people try to prove and disprove Lee Harvey Oswald doing what they say he did with that rifle. And I've seen some pretty good marksmen who said they can't do it, but I've also seen some good marksmen say they can because it's an offset scope, bolt action. Kind of a rough rifle to use.
It's possible to do what he
3
did.
shots in that kind of amount of time, and one of them being a headshot. I mean, I don't know that Lee Harvey Oswald was that good. He wasn't a sniper. Yeah, he was a Marine, but he wasn't a sniper. So, I mean,
Who knows
maybe
what-
he
who
trained
knows-
with that.
The
to
best
do it.
thing that happened is
Maybe
when
so.
Jack Ruby
Sorry.
came through the kitchen of the hotel and shot him and killed the killer.
What I like is there's one of the theories about it, and the words conspiracy theories aren't necessarily negative just to begin with. Those just are theories, but one of the theories is because the round that was used in that Italian rifle wouldn't really cause what happened to Jack's head, but there's a guy in the Secret Service, and I forget his name. He was in the car behind him. Supposedly there was a negligent discharge on his part, and because of the frames around the 5.56 M16 uses. They think that might have hit his head. And that's what caused his skull
Scalp to blow off?
Yeah, I mean, if you see the the video, his skull.
Yeah, because
exploded.
that's what Jackie was climbing out of the car to get.
Yeah,
The bullet went through his forehead, through with a hole, and literally blew out the back of his skull.
Yeah, but
and it was literally
Oswald was behind him when he
splattered
was shooting.
Yeah,
on
she
the
was
back
trying
of
to
the
get
scalp
it.
to the back of the trunk.
Yep,
It
she was
literally-
trying to get the scalp.
Yeah, but Oswald would have been behind John Kennedy when he shot him, not in the front. So, see, that right there is why the conspiracy's still surrounded. And that's what
But that's one of those things no one's ever going to know.
Trump needs to release all the official documents on that one. I want to see it all. I want to see about that poor secret, because somebody first published a book, and the Secret Service he actually sued him for defamation because he blamed him for shooting the president.
And what would you kill Kennedy for, anyways? No one's ever talked about that in a thorough conversation.
Well, yeah, he was going to disband the CIA after the Bay of Pigs fiasco. So he said he was going to disband the CIA, so the CIA killed him, is the one theory. Now, my stepdad, he was a Marine in Vietnam. He hates LBJ probably more than anybody else, and he still is like, LBJ had nothing to do with it. Like, all right. Yeah, I know, the theories surround.
Now here's the thing. There is, I don't know if you guys have seen the list of the 2020 candidates.
They're already talking about
Yes.
it? Nice.
I think it's
They couldn't wait until January 1st.
one of the Kennedys. I can't remember which son his. I think he's
who?
That red-haired cracker-ass guy who was talking.
He has announced his presidency.
Who?
So
I love that the
there's
Democrats
one
are
of the
like,
Kennedy offsprings.
Oh, yeah, right.
Remember him?
Now here's the thing.
He's a congressman.
Go ahead.
The moment John had announced that he was going to run for.
It would be John F. Kennedy's
I know where you're going.
nephew.
Right.
I know where you're going with
Was
this one.
killed.
Go ahead. Yeah.
It's the one that spits at the
JFK
mouth.
Jr.,
has a
right?
red hair.
Yes, was killed. Now, how long do you think it's before this Kennedy ends up dead?
Well, wait a minute. You remember what Junior was running for? He was actually the favorite to win a Senate seat.
Yes.
Right, because of Hillary.
Who took? Yep, Hillary Clinton took that Senate seat when he was a front runner. He died in a mysterious plane crash, and she was
in Martha's Vineyards.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Right off the shores of Martha's Vineyards in a twin engine.
Yep, with him, his wife, and his sister-in-law. Yep.
Yeah,
JFK, spitting image of his dad.
And I'll tell you
charismatic,
what,
good-looking.
had he gotten into Senate, we definitely would be in a whole new, because he thought just like his father.
Right, we wouldn't be dealing with the stupid Hillary crap.
Nope, because he would have stomped her like a bug.
Look, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say something about Hillary. Hillary will eventually go to jail. It's going to happen.
You're here to
reverse. It's kind of funny. Like all of a sudden, everyone that was involved with anything that she's done behind doors, anything that was involved in the FBI investigation, where are they ending up?
Dead.
Right. There's 21 so far under her watch with the Clinton Foundation. She's a crook. She's a liar. She's a thief. She steals. She can't tell the truth. She's always running her mouth. She can't even fill seats for her so-called traveling speaking tours. Hanging with the Clintons or something.
Ugh.
She can't even fill seats. Her tour's been canceled last week. So. The Clintons are done. They're full of shit. Now they're talking about Chelsea Clinton running for Congress.
Oh, God.
Whatever. Remember who she's married to? She's married to George Soros' nephew. And George Soros' nephew, her husband's father, was involved in that Ponzi scheme back in the 1970s, and he went to prison.
Yep.
So, crooks marry crooks, liars marry liars, and everything else with the Clintons. Clintons are done. We need to move on and get away from the Clintons and stop talking about them. And then behind closed doors, get the CIA, the Secret Service, and the FBI to prosecute them and move them forward into the prison system.
Yep.
Yeah, which is going to happen. You're going to see.
There's been a lot better people that got into
But I
it for a
forgot
lot less.
that again. I'm also going to say it may not happen because we have so many American people that are left liberal, dumb Democrats that they're going to say no. Hillary did nothing wrong, and nothing will ever move forward. We're not going to change in this country. We're heading to the negative south.
She will lie,
collapse.
steal, and cheat her way out of anything.
The liberals are crooks, and the conservatives are cowards. We had.
That's
when
true.
Trump,
I'll add to the Republicans and the conservatives.
Trump got elected, and we ended up with a Republican House and Senate. Great. We had the legislative and the executive branch all on the right-hand side. What happened? Not much. I mean, Trump was able to help, get government out of the way so the economy could thrive. But other than that, I mean, they didn't really give us back much rights. I mean, all of us here in the gun world are like, all right, we're going to get
We're
the
just
Hearing
standing there with our
Protection
hands
Act.
on.
No,
Yep.
yeah, we're like, okay, Hearing Protection Act. Nope, we can't have that. Well, what about taking back some of this other stuff? Nope, can't have that.
What about the suppressors? What about the stand your ground law? What about this? What about that? We still haven't resolved anything on any of those issues at all.
None of it. And after that
it's because the Democrats are going to continue to put up roadblocks until they get what they want and they overthrow Trump.
But we had a majority.
That's the only way that's going to happen.
Yep, we had a majority, and the Republicans are too big of cowards to stand up to those whiny, loudmouth liberals. Tell Cory Booker to sit down and shut up. Nobody cares what he has to say.
Spartacus.
God, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. God Almighty.
Yeah, name them off. You named it off a couple of weeks ago. We have what? Pocahontas.
Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, Spartacus, Cory Booker. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
Maxine Waters is that crazy old woman from the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
God, you remember that movie from the 80s?
And if you put a picture of Michelle Obama up next to
Flake the fake.
Yeah. If you put a picture of Michelle Obama up next to a picture of our First Lady now, Melania Trump, it's like putting a picture of a garbage truck up next to a Porsche.
Very true.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
So
yeah, but
that is what I'm going to tell you. Yeah.
Tony's cutting us off here. I hate to do this, but we need to take a break. You're listening to SKO Radio Networks.
Oops. Yep.
And you're listening to Firearms, Freedom, and Facts with Sean, Jason, Tony, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome to the SKO Radio Network. You can find us online at skoradio.com. We're also on the TuneIn app where you can listen with your mobile devices on the Google Play and Apple Store. Find us on social media at facebook.com/SKO Radio Network. You're tuned to the SKO Radio Network and online at skoradio.com.
The views and opinions expressed on the SKO Radio Network are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The shows found on the SKO Radio Network will promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and/or claim any cure of disease or condition.
Hey, this is Brad from the Odd Ass Broadcast, letting everybody know. December 12th at the Rialto Theater, SKO Radio Networks and AB Entertainment is bringing you a Toy Drive comedy show with headliner Brian Kenny, featuring Jason Moliterno and special guest Joe McCormick. For more information about the show, follow us at the Odd Ass Broadcast on Facebook.
You keep using language like that, and you're going to find yourself out of a job.
Are you a business owner? Are you looking to advertise? Are you looking for affordable advertising rates? Well, if you'd answered yes to these, then look no further than here at the SKO Radio Network. We here at the SKO Radio Network will put together a tailored advertising package for your business that will help generate more traffic and more revenue for you. If this sounds good to you and you'd like to hear more, give us a call at 234-706-5857. Again, that is 234-706-5857, and we'd be happy to assist you.
You're listening to SKO Radio, where there is no fake news. Fact is, we don't have any news at all.
Hi, this is Bob Fritz, host of the Oldies But Goodies show here on SKO Radio. Join me every Sunday morning from 11 to 2 Eastern Standard Time for the best of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. You can get your requests in by going to Facebook page Yesterday and Today's Classic Music Chat, Tribute, and Games.
Hi, this is Casey, and if you're a fan of video games like I am, you'll love the Game Jam here on SKO Radio every Saturday afternoon. 4 hours of the best video game music of all time, from the 8-bit tunes of the 80s to the more orchestrated hits of today. It's everything you love about video games. It's the best way to waste a Saturday afternoon without a controller in your hands. It's the Game Jam, Saturday afternoons from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the SKO Radio Network.
Looking for the hottest take on sports on the internet? Look no further than Sports Trek with Tony the Comedy Killer, Wednesdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on the SKO Radio Network.
Got the music blues? Well, tune into the Total Request Live with me, Debbie McCune, Mondays from 7 to 10 p.m. Taking your requests live, call or text at 234-200-5110, only on the SKO Radio Network. Guaranteed to take your blues away.
Hi, folks. Handy Randy. Some Kind of Radio. Every Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, we take your themes. First off, we need you to go to Yesterday and Today's Classics, Music, Chat, Trivia, and Games, and join that Facebook site. Once you do that, then watch for the themes and the requests. Tuesday night, 6 until 10, classic rock and roll. Promise will knock your socks off.
Alrighty, welcome back. Firearms, Freedom, and Facts here on the SKO Radio Network. Lines are open, by the way. 234-200-5110. Here, so had to hustle back up some stairs.
I've had to get in a break.
Yeah. Like Toby Keith says, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Right?
So now before our break, of course, and then me and Sean were talking outside. It's like, there's one person at the top we got to get rid of if we want to kind of get our country heading back in the right direction. His name is George Soros. Yeah. He is behind a lot of things because now here's one thing if you think about it. All the migrants that are supposedly coming up here seeking asylum.
Why are they coming in from California?
Yeah, why did they travel an additional 1,500 miles to come in through California when they could have come through the Brownsville, Texas border crossing.
Because they ain't too smart.
California will let them in.
Yeah, California would be one that would want to let them in. But also, the big thing, too, is, Mexico was kind of giving them some grief crossing through their country, too. That was the thing I found kind of funny was, but now, they come crossing, they go in through Baja, California, and it's...
Mexico doesn't care. They're going to let them go because it's less people for them. And instead of that, too, did you see the recent article that was put through the media this week when Trump kept saying that there are MS-13 gang members in those migrants? Yeah, they arrested 37 of them.
Yep. And it's just, and it just can only... everybody comes up and that's their first thing is, we get some of the photos of some of these migrants coming up, they look like they're in pretty good shape clothes-wise.
Tennis shoes, cell phones, diapers, strollers.
And it's just like, oh, well, you're so bad firing tear gas at those women and children. It's just like, why are you subjecting your children through this? And A, you're in Central America. Here's the question I got. There are several peaceful countries in South America. If you're willing to march upon us, why are you A, not marching upon your own government to demand change, or B, why did you have to come north? Why did you not go south? Because there's several peaceful countries in South America that are in pretty good shape that would welcome you with open arms.
Argentina,
Brazil,
correct.
You got Suriname, Guyana, French Guyana, which are all fairly peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
You got, Colombia. Okay, there's drug business.
And you notice they're throwing rocks and stuff and climbing over the fence, throwing rocks at a country where they want to live and be free.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're talking 15,000 Hondurans and Mexicans and people from South America, correct?
Yeah, I think they're all coming from like Guatemala and Honduras.
Right, but what do you think is going to happen when 15,000 show up at the fence between Mexico and the United States? We're going to shut down the border, period.
Yeah, we're just not going to let anybody through. And It's just like, people...
It's a logistical failure and a chaos. And it's going to be complicated with paperwork. Seriously, we thought and think and still think that President Trump has the balls to stop things and saying enough is enough, stop with the bullshit, I'm president, I'm not breaking any laws, stop with the crap, and this is what we're going to do. And literally move forward to do it. Forget the leftists, forget the liberals, and do the proper thing and shut down immigration. We need to stop immigration.
He has the power to do it.
Correct. He's the president of the United States, and he does. He's not rewriting immigration law. No. He's not, and he's not violating it either.
He's just saying if you ain't coming in illegal, you ain't coming in at all.
Right. Yeah. And go through the proper process. Fill out the application. Wait the waiting period.
Yeah.
Pay the fee. Put your signature on it.
What it is people don't want to wait the years to do it. But
yeah, our system of immigration is absolutely broken. It does.
Oh, absolutely.
But here's the thing: if government fixes that problem, what are they going to bitch about? What are they going to sit and tell you have to vote for them so that they can fix the problem? If the problem's fixed, that's why government doesn't fix it.
They'll find a new thing to bitch about.
Oh, there's all kinds of things. Trust me, they've got a list.
Right.
But if they fix these problems like Social Security, there's no motivation for Congress to fix Social Security. Why? They don't pay into it, therefore they don't collect it. They've got their own retirement system, which I don't think any of those should exist. If you're a public employee of any sort, your retirement is still Social Security. I'm sorry, the rest of that shit needs to go away. Unless we want to get rid of Social Security, which I'm all for that, because it's government. But, if we want... Government is kind of like it's not professional, but it's kind of like those professions that are true professions, where they're kind of their goal when they do a job is to eliminate the further necessity. So when you go hire a lawyer, normally it's just because you have money you need to give away for nothing. But, when you hire it right, our fees are so high, but I'm worth it. Trust me. I'll tell you. I fix problems you don't even know you have. Yeah. But seriously, so lawyer's job is to make sure you don't need him again in the future for the same thing. You come back for different things. Same with a doctor. Doctor gets you well. That way you don't need him in the future. That's what a professional is. computer guy. Your computer guy hooks you up to where you don't have to have him keep coming back to fix your computer. It's supposed to just run on autopilot.
One-stop shop.
Exactly. Government should be the same thing. Government's supposed to be so little that it's like that once in a while you're like, oh, I have a problem that I need a hand with. And then you go to the government.
It's like having an itch. Once in a while you need to have it scratched.
That's
exactly.
It's supposed to be little. And honestly, I think the way I look at government, like the legislative branch, they should always be looking at what can they eliminate. What is it we do we should not be doing? They don't ever do that. They're always like, well, what can we expand to keep making you think that
They
you
used
need
to
us?
do that.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
before you went
they want to
overboard.
know how much farther and how many more cookie jars they can put their hands in.
I mean, seriously, if you've ever seen the movie V for Vendetta, the guy, was it something Hurt? John Hurt? Is that John Hurt or was that William Hurt?
Welcome to the SKO Radio Network. You can find us online at skoradio.com. We're also on the TuneIn app where you can listen with your mobile devices on the Google Play and Apple Store. Find us on social media at facebook.com/SKO Radio Network. You're tuned to the SKO Radio Network and online at skoradio.com.
It's right in your backyard.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same
those
theory
cops
we've
are
talked about.
run by the local government. You want to get mad at a Republican in the White House in Washington, D.C. who's never been to, well, okay, he's been to Cleveland because it's really not, or the RNC was. But anyways, he's not the one in charge of Cleveland. Who is? The mayor. Okay, one, the mayor's a Democrat. Two, the mayor's black. So honestly, the racism thing doesn't really, I don't even see where
With
that comes
a
into it.
Creole
The mayor's
Southern
black.
accent from Louisiana.
And if I remember right, the chief of police for most of Cleveland police departments are black men too.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is racism the problem? Oh, because of a white cop? His boss is black, dude.
Right.
Frank Mumbles Jackson.
When in doubt, it always falls back to the color of your skin.
That's always the it's either racism
Right.
or
Why
it's
do we got to
sexism.
create race issues for every single thing?
Exactly.
It's not. It's about voicing your opinion, giving your thoughts, your ideas, and sending a message. But we got to make race out of every stupid shit we talk about in our society from left to right. It's always a racial problem. It's become this, and talking about Christmas. Oh God, you can't say Christmas because you're a Christian. Oops. Well, we've got to bow to Islam, and we've got to do this, and we got to practice that. And look, we came to this country because of religious persecution. I don't care if you are Presbyterian. I don't care if you are Jewish. I don't care if you're a Christian, you're an Antichrist anarchist. And I don't care if I'm Catholic. We're all people. We're here to breathe, and we follow the rules. That's why we're U.S. citizens. That's why we're born here. That's why our ancestors came here. We're not going to fix these issues, guys. We're not. We can keep talking about them every week until we're blue in the face. Every week. It's the same stupid shit. And it's kind of funny that we keep going after the same issues. We're still talking about Russian collusion after 2 years. Russian collusion into our election system. We're still talking about it. Really? Move on, dumb idiots. We keep talking about the same things over and over and over. And what does it do to us as tax-paying Americans right here sitting in this room? It's rubbing on us, and here we are talking about it again and again and again. I like to talk about something new, something fresh, but we can't because it keeps being shown in front of our face as propaganda. And obviously, look, we're all dumb enough to read Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, the idiotic left liberal that he is, keeps producing the shit, keeps allowing it because it's internet social media revenue. It's paying his bills. Why do you think he's a billionaire? He didn't even find Facebook, and that's the truth too. His 5 friends in college at Harvard founded it, but he's taking credit for it because they all walked away from it, dumb-numbed. Here we go, the same stuff. We already talked about the issues. We know what's going on. We know what's going to happen. That's why I like Jason being on the show because he mixes it up. He brings that legal, valid point from the legal side of things.
Right.
He studies, he reads, he takes his CUEs and his CLEs, and that's why we have him on the show. And we'd like to hear from more people. So if you're listening out there, you can dial 234, that's the area code, 200-5110. We'd like to hear from you. We got about 25 minutes left in the show. Let's get some people calling in from around the world. Ask your questions, talk about it, bring up points. We're tired of talking. Our mouth's getting dry. That's why we're drinking a lot of liquor and drinking drinks every week.
And it's like, some of the times, you'd think you need to.
We can go ahead and talk about guns for the next 20 minutes. But we talked about what's new coming out in the industry.
It's in the name of the show.
Yeah.
Right. But they only, they're not bringing out a gun once a week. We've already talked about the new stuff coming out for Sig Sauers and Rugers, and the new stuff that's being introduced, and the Army's testing this, and the military's testing that, and the Navy's going with this. I mean, the gun thing can only last so long too until we get new stuff. Now that's going to change after January 1st because we got the SHOT Show coming up, the industry trade show, so they're going to be introducing all the gun stuff, and all the new military equipment.
Well, there's some Texans trying to change the international ban, the ban on interstate handgun purchases. So right now you can't buy a handgun outside your own home state, right? You can buy it, but it's got to be sent to an FFL in yours. Yeah, you can buy it, but it's got to be sent to an FFL in your home state, and then you got to pick it up there where they do the background check and yada yada yada. So basically, they just like buying a gun, but with extra steps. Why? God only knows. It's Congress. What do you expect? Well, some guys in Texas decided they were going to try to buy a gun out of state. They didn't work out so well, so they sued. Now, the local federal district court apparently said it was unconstitutional, the ban, but of course the circuit court overturned that one. So they've got a request to be heard by the Supreme Court on this one. Hopefully that.
I thought we are the United States of America. The Second Amendment applies to all 50 states.
Yeah.
Including Hawaii, but here you can't do transaction of interstate arms across state lines. That needs to go away. It's bullshit.
It's ridiculous because
the ATF can still track at the serial numbers.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. The funny thing is okay. So the background check is done through NICS. Now NICS is basically actually the FBI running the background check.
Right.
The reports are done by every agency across America. Some of them do a better job of reporting than other ones. Well. So if I go to one state to buy a handgun and the FBI does a background check, and then the next day I'm in another state and the FBI does my background check, what's the difference? Honest to God, what is the difference? I still have the same driver's license. I still have the same concealed handgun license that I presented to the FFL, the dealer, when I tried to buy that gun from him.
You have the receipt.
Why is the difference?
Monetary.
Well, yeah, but when they go to the background check, what am I giving them? I'm giving my name, address, phone, social security number, driver's license number, whatever, and they're running the same background check. Whether they run that background check while I'm standing in a store in Ohio, Texas, California, Alaska, what's the difference? There's no difference.
That's why the policies with the ATF are truly a joke. They don't make any sense.
It's a disaster. Well, you're looking at when you look at the bub sock ban they're trying to do. When you read the crap that they're trying to propose, it's idiotic. It's
they classify it as
redundant.
They classify it. What is it again?
Oh, they're classifying
an automatic weapon. They're trying to classify the surefire or bump-fired stock. What that is, folks, that is the stock that butts up against your shoulder that goes on an Armalite 15, not an assault rifle. That's a semi-automatic, which means it's not full auto.
If it's an assault rifle, you wouldn't need the both sides.
It's plastic and it has a spring in it that bounces. They're trying to classify it as a fully automatic weapon. There is no weapon because it doesn't have a trigger. It's a stock that rests against your shoulder.
Oh, my God.
This is the stupidity of the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. And it's not the agents. If you ask any of the agents, if you ask them directly, any of them, some of the rules they have that make sense, they'll tell you, you know what?
Well, yeah.
They don't make any sense and they're bullshit, but we have a job to do and we're ordered to do it. We have to do it.
No, you're absolutely right. You and I both have FFLs, so we've spoken with some of these agents, and they're very commonsensical, intelligent people who believe in freedom, but they enforce the laws they're supposed to.
That's their job.
As best as they know how, because the laws are all counterproductive. Oh, I tell you what, I've had some questions, and I've usually been very knowledgeable about answering them. But yeah, when you look at so I've got this Surefire one. What you do is you take the pistol grip basically off your AR-15, and this little block gets screwed in there in place of it, and then you got to take off the stock, right? And then this thing slides up in there. There are no moving parts. It's two pieces of plastic. Neither of them move. When you pull the trigger, the recoil bounces that gun in your shoulder, or however you manage to hold it.
The stock doesn't even move.
Yeah, the stock doesn't move. It's a solid piece of plastic.
That's why I call it a slide fire, because that little square piece you're talking
exactly.
about, it slides against a molded...
slides in a groove.
Right, in a frame, and when the recoil comes back, it bounces it. That's automatic.
Because you've got the...
Now you're getting into... EMC equals 2, and you're getting into what we call Albert Einstein theory.
Yeah. So you get, because it's...
You think they understand that? They don't.
Oh, God, no. But you've got the gas come back, push back from that little AR-15. And I'm telling you what, everybody wants to talk about how high-powered that is. The 223 Remington or the 5.56 NATO, it's basically the same round. That is an anemic rifle round. It really is. It's a Super 22 is all it is.
Right.
So it's got this little bit of recoil. It moves the bolt carrier, and then that spring compresses. The buffer, bounces back and forth. And that little bit of, recoil bounces that rifle a little bit.
It doesn't even build up gas either.
No, it doesn't. So it slides in and out, and you get that rapid fire a little bit. But here's the problem: the gun itself is what's sliding. So you're trying to shoot a rifle that is moving. You're not holding it still, because normally when I shoot a rifle and I want to hit my target, I've got a bipod, I've got a scope, I make sure that rifle does not move. I pull the trigger, and the only thing moves is that firing pin. That's all I want moving when I shoot a rifle. The slide fire, the bump stock, whatever you've got, the whole point is so that the rifle moves. How the hell are you hitting anything? It's an accident if you hit anything.
Right, but even if you look at the two videos with the bump fire or slide fire, it's not accurate. You're all over the target.
Not. It is not
You're all
accurate.
over within a 1 to 2 foot area. You're not dead center with every single shot in a 30-round magazine.
Those things are novelties. They're fun, but they're an accessory, just like your underbarrel lights or the pistol grips or whatever the hell they are. They're all just accessories. The fact that they're trying to say, oh, no, this gives you the ability to do something else.
And
that's the whole point.
Let's talk about that part right there.
Yeah.
They're saying this. So who's really saying it?
Who's they and what are they trying to say?
Right.
I'm with
is it the people? Is it the politics, the politicians? Is it the lobbyists? Is it the Trump administration? Who in there is saying this?
The puppet master.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
They're all marionettes. That's all it is.
Play a Metallica song either.
No.
You should have played the one.
Master
of the puppets.
I fucking
All right, you pecker.
Jesus.
But the question
reminds me of the episode of Simpsons. They were going to have Michael Jackson show up in town. And the guy said, well, in honor of Michael Jackson, we're going to play an extra long version of Anna-Gata-DeVita. You're off at left field, man. Come on.
We're going back.
He's in Yankee Stadium, left field. Where's Babe Ruth? He's over there. You dumbass on the wrong side.
Who is really saying it about this bump fire?
The NRA is saying it. Oddly enough, the NRA is backed just about every major gun control law, really, truly civilian disarmament law that we've had over the last 50 years. Sad. The Democrats.
I'm a life member.
You know what? I would love to be, but we need to replace some of our leadership. They're the people who are in charge of that aspect of it.
North now.
Well, he's the president of the NRA itself. Now, when it talks about the ILA, is that what it's called? Something in legislative active, whatever the hell arm of it is. I forget what it's called.
NRALIA.
Legislative Initiative, whatever the hell. I forget what it's called now.
Right.
But
It's the legislative body of the NRA.
It is. It's almost like a separate entity, but it's not.
It's the 162 attorneys that sit in that beautiful big glass building in Virginia.
Well, fuckers need 163rd, and I will be willing to drive out there whenever they're ready for me. But
you know what? That'd be a good job for you. I wouldn't mind seeing you get that.
No, really, that's it. Well, when you look at like the NRA, so they got these board members. You see guys like Tom Selleck. You see guys like Ted Nugent, the Motor City Madman. Yeah, he's the guy that needs to be on there. But the guys like Chris Cox and all his buddies who are part of the legislative arm of it, they're the ones that help write these laws. Like, okay, you want to ban stuff? Well, let me write the law so it's not so bad. Man, they need to learn from the insurance industry. The insurance industry has written every insurance law that's ever come across. And man, are they on the side of the insurance companies. Same with banking. The banking industry writes the banking laws. Why do you think the banks always win in a lawsuit? You can't beat the bank in a lawsuit. Why? They wrote the damn law.
Right.
So when you see the NRA writing it, they're still not doing it because they're on the side of the bump stock ban, basically. It's like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, the Democrats, sure, I understand that because they hate freedom. The last thing they want, because especially when you
they don't want to lose their millions that they're collecting. They don't want to lose.
Well,
that's why Jeff Daniels says, "Why do goddamn effing liberals always lose?"
Yep.
You said it. You nailed it right, exactly on the nose. This is not going to change. It's going to get worse.
It is, and one of the things too is
what I'm going to do, and I'm going to say it over air now.
Sure.
Next Sunday when we come in, I'm going to bring the infamous bump stock.
Yeah, you got one?
I've got several of them.
Nice. Yeah, when they ban, I wouldn't get rid of them. I think anybody who's got
I'm gonna bring one in. That way you can look at it, we can talk about it, analyze it, take a picture, and you guys can beg me to buy it off of me, and I'm not going to sell it.
No, you shouldn't. What you got to do is wait, because when the ATF finally releases this. Of course, it's been going to come out next week for about 2 months now. So when the ATF finally issues this ban and people start destroying theirs because they're afraid of going to the jail or getting shot
well, they've already talked about it. They're going to be ordered to turn them in.
Yeah.
They will have 35 to 40 days. Otherwise, they'll face a fine and jail time.
Yeah, I saw there's going to be a grace period to turn them in or destroy them. But what's going to happen is people are going to be nervous. Because remember that with the red flag laws in Maryland with that guy that killed over the red flag law? They went to confiscate his guns and they killed him when he said no. So, all you back the blue guys, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're not entirely right because cops are going to come take your guns.
Well, here's I'm going to add this to you because you're FFL.
Yeah.
They're not coming after you and I.
No, we've got the licenses. We're the ones that are supposed to have access to these things. I mean, I know guys who, if they're FFL, they've got...
Are they going to change it on us? They're not. Because we're the responsible party. Yeah. We went through the background check. We're the federal firearms licensed dealer. We have a license and a number, and we uphold and comply the law.
Yeah, you and I both have the dealer's licenses, and you've got multiple licenses, but you and I both also have a Class 3 SOT. So when you have that SOT, that adds on top of it because you pay a stupid tax. Damn taxes. But yeah, so I mean, people are going to be nervous, so they're going to get rid of their bump stocks,
and they're not
because they're afraid of that.
You know the groups.
So what's going to happen? But here's what I'm waiting for is when that gets overturned, because that bump stock ban is going to be unconstitutional. When they lose that in federal court, it's going to get struck down. People are going to want to buy them again. So guys who have a couple of those laying around, they're worth $150 right now. When that happens, you can sell it for $300 without blinking. So you're going to easily double your money. And then you may have gotten yours even cheaper as a dealer if you got a dealer from a distributor.
Yeah, I'm getting them from Bumpfire and Surefire. My cost is $62, but the company that makes that, Mike Douglas, the owner and founder of Bumpfire, which is located in Texas. Do you think he just shut down his company because of this? He closed it down on the front end. Yeah. He's 24/7 operating, making bump stocks and Surefires. They're not going to put him out of business. He employs 3,500 people.
Yeah, I'm sure something's still going on.
He's making up. No, he keeps quiet. What he does, lets it all go away, lets it settle down, and then he's back slowly. Opens up the internet, turns his website back on, and boom.
Yep.
Look, there's going to be some policy changes to it, but to ban it, a plastic stock that slides, it doesn't make any sense. Put legislative and law experience to it.
Well,
there's going to be changes, but they're not going to ban it.
The military experience speaks well to this too. So people are looking at you now can make it full automatic and you go mow down and kill all these people because that guy in Vegas. Okay, when you've got
Steve Praddock.
When you've got 10,000 people standing in a group, I can mow them down with anything I want. I can use a bolt action 22 and I'm going to get 20 kills.
Houston with shotgun. They're going to ban shotgun.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, man. So what I tell people is if you've ever shot a full automatic machine gun, you understand how there is no real similarity between that and a bump stock, rifle. They're because the machine gun, you can set it down, you hold it on a bipod, and you're rapid firing. You shoot and bursts, and the gun maintains it's where it's at, so you're able to kind of.
You already solved the problem just by saying you said burst.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how you're supposed to fire, anyways. But the other thing too is you don't kill people with machine guns. That's a movie thing. In reality, that's your suppressive fire.
So let me talk something you brought up a couple of weeks ago too. You remember the ammo we talked about called Dragon's Breath?
Oh yeah, I love that stuff.
You might as well ban it too.
Oh yeah, stuff's used to fire. Well, they've got one.
Fire.
Look at the company. It's,
people you can kill if you shoot them with fire.
I think it's a little specialty ammo. It's from a little town here in Ohio. I believe it or not. They've got Dragon's Breath, but it comes out huge ball of fire, which is awesome. They've got some other ones. They've got they call it ball and chain. It's basically two lead musket balls connected by a steel cable. They've got one that's full of birdshot, double out buck, and a musket ball.
They got one that's full of glass.
Man. Really? I haven't seen that one yet.
They got one that's full of glass. It hits you.
What a mess.
The glass hits you, cuts you, you die, and it slices you up at the same time.
Yeah,
then the glass disintegrates. It's biodegradable. How they do it, I don't know, but it's fascinating. Are they going to ban all that stuff too? Why don't they add that to the list?
Yeah, no kidding.
Give them time. They probably will.
Yeah. Well, did you see there was one police department? I forget where it's at. I kind of skimmed the article when I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute, I've got to see this. When I saw the headline, there's one. I think it's a police organization. They want residents to write down all their serial numbers and turn it in.
Yeah, I just saw that yesterday.
Did you see that? Oh yeah, here's the list of the guns I own and serial numbers. Have at it. Are you crazy?
I think it was in Missouri. Wasn't it Missouri or Illinois? One of those two states.
It wouldn't surprise me if anything in Missouri.
Who's going to write down their serial numbers and turn them in?
You know what? I tell people the funny thing is you see stuff in movies and TV by accident sometimes really prove points. The TV show Walking Dead, one season they had the guy play called Negan, evil guy. So he comes in and takes over this one town, and he goes in to confiscate their weapons. Goes in and they've got a catalog of what guns they have in their stock. It's like, hey, you have an inventory of your guns? That's awesome. Oh, we've got all your guns except these 3. Where are these 3? And I'm going to start shooting residents until I get all 3 of those guns turned back in. So, I mean, just right there proof why you never write down a list of your guns. And sure as shit, don't give it to the government. Don't ever register. Why? Because they're going to confiscate.
Right.
You know, I mean, you look at the prime example. We keep going back to World War II because honestly, World War II keeps coming up because it's the most cataloged. When Americans finally got in there and actually saw the atrocities were happening, there was just so much documentation done. They said we need to catalog absolutely everything that we see here.
And they did that with Poland, Ukraine, Czechoslovakia, Germany, Italy, Switzerland. Yeah, I mean, they even did it with Switzerland, and they were neutral and untouched. They did it with all those countries in World War II. I mean, you know, Germany was out to occupy Europe and take over, literally, and they were doing it until we stepped in. And England said, hey, we need help. By the way, we don't know really what's going on. And then, you know, towards the end, we found out they were exterminating the Jewish population. You know, the numbers say 6 million. You hear 12 million, 16 million. It's more into the 24 to 27 million, and that included Italians and Germans and Polish and Ukrainians and Czechoslovakians and Czech and Bosnians and all those wonderful people.
The funny thing is, you know, America was staying out of it. What's his name? He did not want to go to war. I can't say the president's name.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yeah, thank you. He did not want to go to war. He's like, no, we're good. In fact, he realized it wasn't even giving a lot of help to England. You know, Churchill was like, come on, dude, we need a hand. We were staying out of it. Germany was basically winning. They had Europe locked down. Then all of a sudden, Japan's like, you know what? Hey, America, have this, and bomb Pearl Harbor. Well, you know, you wake the sleeping giant. Now, granted, Russia was really, you know,
right.
Big,
we were at war already with Japan.
Yeah, but once you had us jump in there, that was just kind of the end of it.
And that's when it became a world war.
Yeah, because it was a European war there. Well, Japan had already invaded China, but you know, once they bombed Pearl Harbor, we were allowed to get into it.
Right, and that's when we, you know, the admiral of the Japanese Fleet and Navy, you know, that famous speech he said that we awoken a giant in the Emperor of Japan.
Yeah. Afraid we may have woken the sleeping giant, yeah.
Right, and he did. Think about it, what we did to them. Do you know and realize between Nagasaki and Hiroshima and those 2 atom bombs, we killed a total of 1.2 million people?
Just like that.
Just like that. And then we're talking
that's why I like
health
giving
problems for the next 4 to 5 generations.
Yeah.
All the way up until the early 1980s, we created that mess, and you know, obviously.
Wait till you see what happens over the next 10 or so years after the Fukushima thing. I don't know if I said that the nuclear plant that blew up.
Fukushima.
Over in Japan, right. Man. Wait and see. We're gonna have the same problems there.
Right.
Nobody's even talking about it.
You're going to see mule deer in Japan with 5 legs, and
we're busy making up fake rape stories about Supreme Court nominees rather than talking about Fukushima and the fact that it exploded in the there's all this radiation around.
And the contamination of the ocean, and we're going to see we're going to see black frogs in Japan with
how many
4 eyes.
Godzilla movies were there to warn us about this?
Yeah.
Hell, there was even a song. It was Blue Oyster Cult, man.
Yep, Godzilla, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what are we going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
Ain't a whole lot we can do.
Nope. It's
buy ammo and canned goods.
We are the idiots. We, the people, voted the idiots into office, including Ocasio-Cortez.
Well, I break it down. A lot of it is.
God, it's going to be fun. It's going to be kind of fun to watch her. I'm going to pay attention to her because
she's a frog out of water.
Yeah, you're obsessed with that girl.
I am because
she doesn't understand how it works. I mean, honestly, I would be a little bit like that if I were elected to Congress. It's been a long time since I've had a civics class or was that involved. So, if I get there, but she is just the things that come out of her mouth. She's
oh, my God, pure stupidity.
Dumb.
At least you know you're going to get sworn in, not inaugurated.
There's one movie she reminds me of.
Are we going to get inaugurated and start signing bills?
We got to go with the inaugurated. That's what she keeps saying.
There is one movie that she reminds me of. Clueless.
Oh,
right.
I don't know. I think that's an insult to the movie Clueless.
I think it is.
So we got to see of her inauguration and her 3 branches of government.
Yeah, right.
And we didn't see her sign her first bill in a while.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine who she's going to hire to write that bill? When she says, I'm going to introduce a bill and sponsor it, and then ask several other of these socialistic, she'll go after Bernie Sanders because they look like they're buddies.
Yeah.
So she's going to ask Bernie Sanders and Feinstein to sponsor the bill, and then she's going to write it. Oh, my God, this is going to get good. You know, Feinstein and Sanders and Schumer and Spartacus and Pocahontas, you know, the one that claims she's an Indian. Can you imagine what they're thinking? You know, they got to have at least a little bit of intelligence to going, look, you're a freshman congresswoman, or, you know, you're an idiot, really? If you think you're getting, okay, we'll go with that. You want that written in your, you know, this is going to be fun seeing this house.
They'll probably sponsor her, but they'll sponsor her to fall flat on her face.
Right, because they'll take over the bill and become the primary sponsor, and Ocasio-Cortez.
And then they'll take the credit.
Right.
They'll take it all the way to the bank.
I'm telling you, just like Jason said, just like you said, Tony, they're going to eat her up. Yeah. She's not going to last long.
She's puppy chow.
Oh, my gosh. And she's going to be disastrous for her constituents in the Bronx, New York, and the other part of New York that she represents.
That's New York. You know what? The way I look at New York and California is they get what they ask for. They bring it on themselves. I don't feel any sympathy for them.
Nope, don't.
Stop voting Democrat. Stop voting.
All I can say is it's going to be the night that the lights went out in New York.
No kid. Well, I keep making the point. I'm like, you know what? Akron, like my grandparents all were born out of state, and they came in the 20s. They all came as soon as they got out of high school to Akron, Ohio, because this was a city that was growing in the city of industry, and they all had very good jobs. Now, people are leaving Akron as fast as they can. As soon as they get out of high school, they're getting the hell out of Akron. Why? Because it's a dead city. Democrat rule for 50 years.
Yep.
So, well, with that, we'll draw the show to a close. It's 8 o'clock. Coming up next, we have Sports Brewing Company.
Live from the studio.
From the studio?
They'll be here in studio.
Live from the studio.
Wow.
They will not be broadcasting from the Windsor's Pub on Talmadge Avenue in North Akron, zip code 44310. They will be doing it live from the studio where we're sitting right now in Akron, Ohio.
So,
was it 1640?
Yeah, something like that. So,
yep.
So, but yeah, with that, and then what we'll do right now until Sports Brewing Company comes on, we're going to send you back to some more holiday music. I want to wish everybody out there, now that the sun is down, a happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
You need to play 8 Crazy Nights.
Yeah, should do that, but
you need to get me some.
I want him to
some
play
beautiful Jewish food. Absolutely love it.
I'll bring you some gefilte fish, the stuff I don't eat.
Ugh.
Really? You don't eat gefilte?
I don't like.
You know what? When you say gefilte fish, you know what that reminds me of? What's his name in that movie with Jackie Chan when they were sitting on the plane?
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. You know when he tried to say the name and they had the blooper.
Oh.
Yeah,
I can't even stand the smell of it.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. So we'll send you to some Christmas music. Remember, SKO Radio Network is your official Santa-approved Christmas music station. So,
and we'll see you next week on Firearms, Freedom, and Facts with Jason, Sean, and Tony.
Yep.
We are signing out.
All right,
have a great night,
everybody.